Ladies and gentlemen, remember when fun size meant the tiny candy bar that tricks you into thinking you're dieting? France once built a fun-size car that does the same. Meet the Rolux Baby, a two-seat, door-optional post-war sprite that winked at full-size American grills, folded its windscreen like a deck chair, and then scooted off on a single-driven rear wheel as if nothing was unusual. It's the voiturette that made entire boulevards ask, "Is that a car?" A scooter in a tux, or both? Before we dive in, massive thanks to the sponsors of my channel, our paid members. You legends keep the lights on and the fuel mix rich. Without you, I'd be test driving regret on a rainy Tuesday. With you, I'm test driving micro-history with a smile. Now, the story. The Rolux Baby begins in Lyon, France, where Paul Martin built new map motorcycles, well-finished, tech-forward, and not exactly cheap. In 1938, seeing a nation still counting coins after the crash, Martin tried something brave. A tiny car that lived between a motorbike and a real car. That's where the pre-war new map Rolux appears, a minimalist roadster with steel bodywork when rivals were still stretching fabric over frames, and a tubular chassis confidence that said, "I'm small, but I eat my vegetables." World War II didn't kill the idea. After 1945, Martin spun up a dedicated car arm. By 1947, the Société Rolux existed in Clermont-Ferrand, and by December 1949, the Rolux mark was formally registered with the VB series Baby standardized. There's even a name to pin on the elegant early form, a Lyonnais engineer, RM Sotheby. Corporate musical chairs followed. Controller Robert Robin took the helm and Martin moved to Monet-Goyon in 1950, but the Baby kept toddling along. Why build it? France was ration thin and mobility hungry. A 125 cubic centimeter car that skirted heavy licensing rules hit a sweet spot. The Baby promised proper seats, a folding windscreen, and the dignity of pressed steel wheels and little bumpers without the bureaucracy that dogged bigger machines. It also winked across the Atlantic with a faux grille big car vibe and optional two-tone paint. Timmy saw one and said, "It's like a Cadillac that went through the dryer." Under the lid, mounted at the back, the Baby cycled through engines that read like a pocket history of French small-bore ingenuity. Pre-war examples began around 100 cubic centimeters. Early post-war VB58s used 125cc Aubier-Dunn singles with roughly 4.5 horsepower and a 3-speed gearbox. Those VB58 cars sent power by chain to a solid rear axle, good for a quoted 50 to 60 kilometers per hour, 31 to 37 miles per hour. Later, the classic VB60 switched to a Weedril 125cc single, still about 4.5 horsepower, and a neater cardan shaft that drove the left rear wheel only. That sounds odd until you remember weight and cost were the enemies. One-wheel driven meant fewer parts and fewer headaches. On wet cobbles, though, you learned to coax the throttle or you'd crab walk like a Parisian pigeon. From nose to tail, you're looking at about 2.65 meters, 8 feet 8 inches, long, and just 1.15 meters, 45 inches wide. Even after a big lunch, you and your passenger sit abreast, knees almost touching the firewall, in a capsule weighing about 145 to 150 kilograms, 300 to 331 pounds. My neighbor Bob, who fears both artificial intelligence and low tire pressures, said the Baby is exactly the kind of vehicle the aliens would use to blend in. Right, Bob, because nothing screams stealth like two-tone paint on a car the size of an ottoman. The running gear evolved with the badge. Early VB58s mixed a transverse leaf front with coil spring swing arms at the back. The VB60 settled into leaf springs at both ends and stayed with cable-operated brakes. 3 forward speeds remained the order of the day. Reverse was often a rumor rather than a feature. In period, the frugality was astonishing. At a steady 48 kilometers per hour, 29.8 miles per hour, sources quote about 2.8 liters per 100 kilometers. That's roughly 84 miles per US gallon, or 101 miles per imperial gallon. Production is the murky, delightful part. Surviving Yidrol ledgers show roughly 10 engines a month flowing into Rolux cars from mid-1949 through November 1952, with a lone prototype popping up in September 1953. Then came the small run everyone argues about. Around 50 VB61s, fitted with 175cc Weedroll singles, were reportedly assembled by Société de Construction du Centre through September 1954. The bigger engine gave the baby stronger legs, but robbed it of the original license light advantage. And once Citroën's 2CV and Renault's 4CV were everywhere, our tiny roadster's niche was squeezed. Depending on who's counting, and whether you tally pre-war new map cars with post-war Rolux, and whether you include the late SCC effort, totals range from about 300 under the Rolux name to 400. In a respected auction catalogue to fewer than 1,000 across all types since 1938. A commonly quoted survivor figure is about 60 cars worldwide. You'll see them turn up at sales in France and the United Kingdom, the occasional North American outing, and a few museums that adore the bubble car era. As for details enthusiasts love to argue over, the baby has a bunch. The single, optional door, suicide hinged and usually on the passenger side, was offered to control costs, and a roadster layout kept weight and tooling down. A closed coach prototype teased in the immediate post-war years never reached series production. Driving? Think scooter heart with car manners. The fold-down windscreen makes every trip feel like a parade. The pressed steel wheels carry tiny tires that want smooth inputs, and the cable brakes reward planning ahead. Because only the left rear wheel does the pushing on most VB60s and VB61s, you sense a symmetry on poor surfaces, quirky but manageable. Top speed of 50 to 60 kilometers per hour, 31 to 37 miles per hour, means you choose your routes with care. But that's the point. The baby is about savoring motion, not conquering it. The baby's end came not with a bang, but with a traffic jam of progress. As real people's cars became affordable, the Microcar's advantage evaporated. Rolux shut its doors in 1952 after a final climb in complexity and price, and the VB61 Coda through 1954 closed the book. Newmap, the motorcycle maker, carried on with two-wheelers and the Solito three-wheeler until the end of the 1960s. Then Lion's motor saga quietly dimmed. Now the money part you've been waiting for. Late VB60s in period carried list prices around 243,000 French francs, ancients, while the 175cc VB61 rose to about 255,000 French francs. In today's purchasing power, that's on the order of $9,800 and $10,300 at recent euro-dollar parity. Public auction history includes a high-water sale at $48,875 for a 1950 Rolux Baby at RM Sotheby's, Bruce Weiner Microcar Museum, February 2013, Lot 260, and another documented result at $17,150 at RM Sotheby's Fort Lauderdale in March 2019, Lot 3005. If the Rolux Baby teaches anything, it's that small can be spectacular. Cheers to a French original that made mileage a magic trick and style a birthright. If you enjoyed this ride, hit subscribe, join the member crew, and may your projects tighten properly, especially if Timmy helped.